Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. I also need to share the situation of the floods with you, because water has entered Lahore. In central Punjab and the eastern districts, the devastation is severe. There are tragic stories, and now water is flowing from central Punjab into southern Punjab and further towards Sindh. We will present all the details and stories to you. But before that, let's talk a little about the political situation, because at this moment, politics is also heating up. This heat was sparked by one of our own reports. We were the first in Pakistani media to present the news that Field Marshal Asim Munir met Maryam Nawaz, Nawaz Sharif and Shahbaz Sharif. It was a secret meeting in Changla Gully. After we broke this story, both traditional and non-traditional Pakistani media picked it up. Now, not only are they confirming the meeting, but also its details. When we first presented the news, we only had the fact of the meeting, not the contents. That's why we didn't add speculative details or make things up, because that would be deception. Many others do this. When they have half the news, they invent the rest to build a full story, even if it later proves false. My principle is, share only what's known without lying, though we can sometimes keep things unsaid. Stretching a story with lies serves no purpose. Now, coming back, senior journalists in Pakistan's mainstream media are confirming the meeting. Obviously, they have sources within PMLN, ISPR and intelligence agencies. A small clarification, if I may. You may often hear me say lightly, we reported this first. That doesn't mean I personally broke the news, of course. I live in America. I'm not a beat reporter in Islamabad or Lahore. Friends who are journalists there pass me news, which I share. Since they sometimes cannot disclose it themselves, it's my responsibility to give them credit, because credibility and a record of accurate scoops are a journalist's career capital. I don't want anyone's due credit to be lost. Now, further in mainstream media, journalist Naeem Ashraf Butt, who works with ARY News, is reporting on the inside story of an unusual meeting in Murray between three elders and an important personality. The three elders being Nawaz Sharif, Shahbaz Sharif and Maryam Nawaz. The important personality you can probably guess. He can't name him on air. We have information that Pakistani TV channels and newspapers were instructed by ISPR to report the meeting positively, but not to name the army chief, even though he was present. No one will deny it, but soon you'll see confirmations with the name as well. But reports that it was decided the government and system will continue since it is functioning correctly. On Shahbaz and Maryam's proposal, Nawaz Sharif agreed, but commented that Nawaz had no real choice. If he had refused, his political trousers would have been stripped away. That's his colourful phrasing. Nawaz always tries to manoeuvre, but here he was compelled. Now about Asim Munir's extension, does he need it? We were the first to tell you he would require a new notification. The credit goes to a retired Lieutenant General, Asim Munir's former teacher, who told me this directly. He explained that legally a notification will be required. Analyst Moeed Pirzada reported that some legal sources claimed the 26th constitutional amendment was worded to allow a 5-year extension without fresh notification. But legal experts we spoke to reject that, saying retrospective application is unconstitutional. A law cannot be applied backward in this way, like you cannot declare a child's birth happened after a marriage that took place later. Therefore, a new notification is essential. This has now been confirmed. Moving on, journalist Mohammed Malik reported that after the Murray meeting, Rana Sanalla declared that Imran Khan would serve the full 14 years in prison and that his party would be excluded from politics. Malik suggested this statement was a direct result of the meeting's decisions, that Khan would remain jailed and PTI sidelined. So, whether you take Naeem Butt's version or Mohammed Malik's, both confirm the meeting happened and agreements were made. Of course, they may think their plan will unfold, but above all human plans, there is God's plan. Remember, they once planned Khan's assassination, but he survived. They didn't anticipate February 8th either. Likewise, they may think they will succeed now, but I personally believe they will not. The damage they've done to the state is too severe to sustain. Now, the irony, Pakistan's fate is being decided by a retired general whose mandate is questionable, and by political leaders who lost the elections. Nawaz, Shahbaz, Maryam, all defeated. The military chief appointed after retirement, mandate disputed. Both sides lack public and moral legitimacy, yet they are deciding the country's future. Naturally, this can only lead to disaster, not prosperity. Now, two more political points before returning to the floods. Journalist Habib Akram praised PTI's decision to boycott by-elections on reserved seats. He said it trapped the government politically, exposing their alliance. Since PMLN and PPP won't field candidates, the elections are meaningless. This move forces them to reveal themselves more openly. Najam Sethi added that Imran Khan could decide any time to withdraw PTI from the assemblies altogether, to show the world that Pakistan's most popular leader and party are excluded. Unlike in the past, now the world knows the reality of this government. This echoes what we said back on June 28, 2025. When women's reserved seats were taken away, we suggested PTI should also quit assemblies and committees to fight solely on the streets. Inside PTI, some benefit from being in Parliament, offices, perks, committee posts, so they resist. But eventually Khan will have to unify everyone outside. Critics argue resigning is always a mistake, but I said then every situation is different. Sometimes staying only legitimizes an illegitimate system. Najam Sethi, despite his biases, is one of Pakistan's most learned journalists, and even he says the world will see the absurdity of excluding the majority party. Finally, journalist Matullah Jan also praised PTI's by-election boycott, noting that while Forms 45 and 47 can be manipulated, if PTI doesn't contest at all, voter turnout will collapse and the fraud will be more visible, perhaps even forcing cancellations. So all these analyses point to the same direction. The news we shared with you earlier has now been confirmed. Their plan is to keep Imran Khan imprisoned for 14 years. I personally don't agree that they will be able to achieve this, but nonetheless, they are preparing for it. We'll see what happens in the coming days. Imran Khan has made two very strong moves recently. The next move, one Najam Sethi predicts when Khan makes it, we'll also share with you. Now let's move to the floods situation briefly, and then we'll discuss some analyses about Madam's, that is, Maryam's government. The Punjab government has completely failed. Waving hands in front of cameras and taking staged photos doesn't save people. You have to work practically. This is the analysis of senior journalist Nadeem Malik. He says the Punjab government has failed entirely. To portray it as successful, they tried all sorts of image building, from songs like Mir Rash Ke Kama to orchestrated PR. But as you know, if someone has nothing in reality, no amount of inflation will change their true capacity. You can look at the two photos, both of my sister. Please don't play the woman card here. Everyone knows I respect her and call her my sister, but just like you can change outward photos, you can't change the brain inside. No matter how much PR you do, the capacity remains the same. Recently, she, meaning Maryam, explained that torrential rains were the reason behind flooding. Today, on social media, an old English clip of hers is circulating. Listen carefully, she says in English, "I am Maryam, the real daughter of Nawaz Sharif." Why real daughter? As if people doubted she was his daughter. Everyone already knew she was Nawaz Sharif's daughter, but perhaps she was speaking to foreign journalists and thought they didn't know. Still, someone should have told Madam, in English, you don't say real daughter, you simply say, "I am his daughter." Then she said post-Prime Minister, almost like saying post-mortem Prime Minister. Again, listen, she said, "I am the daughter of the post-Prime Minister." Likely this was in PM House or her residence. This whole image-boosting effort, songs, PR campaigns, analysts forced to say Punjab is delivering, hasn't worked. As Nadeem Malik said, waving hands won't solve problems. On the other hand, NDMA Chairman Lieutenant General Inam is still missing from action, but his department released figures. Between the 26th and 28th, 819 people died and 1,111 were injured. Yesterday we told you the government was reporting only 15 deaths, clearly false. Now NDMA has given this figure. We can't fully confirm it, but these are the numbers they released. They also issued forecasts from August 30th to 31st. Heavy rains in Punjab's northern and northeastern districts, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Sialkot. In central and southern districts, Multan, DG, Khan, Bahawalpur. Also on 30th and 31st August, flash flooding expected in low-lying areas. But NDMA's job isn't weather reporting. That's the meteorology department's role. NDMA's job is relief, evacuating people, moving them to safety, providing aid. Yet Lieutenant General Inam has put on the meteorologist's hat and spends all day giving weather updates. From Islamabad, Rawal Dam's water level has risen and spillways were opened around 6 in the morning today. This was announced yesterday, but now it should be confirmed. After monsoon rains in Islamabad, water levels in Rawalpindi rose. We too open our dams, letting water flow downstream. India does the same. But for 78 years, India has exploited every chance to blame Pakistan. A small firecracker goes off there, and they say, terrorism from Pakistan. Their government hides incompetence by scapegoating Pakistan. Since BJP came, hatred politics has intensified. Our rulers are no better. If India releases water, we call it water terrorism. But if NDMA and PTV can report on rainfall in Australia, why can't they foresee rains in occupied Jammu and Kashmir? Didn't they know that water would flow into Pakistan? Were they blind, deaf, or technologically incapable? Their job isn't just reading news on TV, they must also take preventive measures. Meanwhile, journalist Kamran Shahid asked, how is Maryam Nawaz responsible for natural disasters in Islamabad? The real responsibility lies with Shahbaz Sharif. On one side, floods are devastating people. On the other, he is on foreign trips to Japan. While people drown, meetings are held in Moeed to plan governance and Asim Munir's extension. As Mohammed Zubar said, the people are drowning underwater, while the Field Marshal arranges his continuation. And Nawaz, Shahbaz and Maryam discuss how to keep Imran Khan in jail for 14 or 16 years. Their chosen representative, Lieutenant General Inam, is missing in action. Now, one more story. Maryam Nawaz tried to play a double game. Or rather, a double game was played on her. She was given fake footage from Wazirabad, showing water gone, to claim that floods had been cleared. She posted 2 photos on her account, one dated the previous day showing flooding, another dated August 28 showing clean and dry streets. But the very same day, local youth released drone footage showing Wazirabad still submerged. These kids, sharp as they are, exposed the lie. Clearly, the handlers around Maryam know her mental capacity is limited. She's stylish, but not strong intellectually, like a Tesla car with a very old engine inside. That's how the Punjab government runs. They made her a marmy, posting fake footage while reality was the opposite. The young drone operators, barely 12 to 14 years old, didn't realize how much trouble they'd cause her. But they exposed everything. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.